Hey, what's up guys, Tanmay here for Simple Snippets, and in today's video tutorial, we're going to take a practical approach and see a practical program in Java. And the question for today is write a program to find whether a number is even or odd. So if you've been following this entire playlist on Core Java for Beginners, up until now we've pretty much covered a lot of basics so that we can start off with the programming and practical questions. So as I also previously mentioned, we are going to be seeing a lot of practical programs so that you get a good practice of Java programming. So that's why I thought let's start off with some practical programs now, since we've already understood the concept of conditional structures, looping structures, and some basic data types and variables. So we've already seen all these concepts in the previous videos of this playlist. So you're pretty much good to go with some basic programs. So we'll start off with the first program, that is write a program to find out whether a number is even or odd. So this is a very basic program, and the idea here is we're going to take a number and we are going to find out whether it is an even or odd number. So we have to make a decision over here, which means that we are going to be using the conditional statement, that is the if-else statement. So with that being said, let's start off with the program. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hard code the number, that is I'm going to pre-declare it in the program. So quickly open up your NetBeans IDE and create a new project. As you can see on the screen, I have already created a project. I would recommend that you type the program along with me. So starting off, we'll just declare an integer variable. I'll say int x is equal to 5. Now we have to check whether this number is even or odd. So how do we implement that logic in terms of programming? So let's come out of programming and let's see how do we implement this logic in mathematics. Well, the way we implement this is we divide this number by 2, and if we are getting any remainder, it means that it is not divisible by 2, which would mean that it is an odd number, right? And if we are able to properly divide that number and get a remainder of 0, then we can say that it is an even number, right? So let's say the number is 4. So 4 divided by 2 will give you 0, right? Let's say the number is 3. So 3 divided by 2 will not give you 0 as the remainder. It would give you remainder as 1. Of course, 3 by 2 would be 1.5, but we are talking about whole numbers here and not fractional numbers. So in that case, when you're going to divide an odd number, we are always remained with the remainder of 1. So this logic we can use in terms of programming as well by using the modulo operator. Now we've already seen the operator and operator precedence, so we're going to use the modulo operator. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create one more variable. I'll say int remainder, and I'm going to say equal to x mod 2. Now this %sign is actually the modulo operator, and what it does is it gives us the remainder by performing division. So 5 divided by 2 will give you a remainder of 1, right? So that 1 will be stored in this remainder variable that we've created, because we know that the assignment happens from right to left. So whatever the result of this expression is going to be transferred to this remainder variable. So this was step number 2. Now we simply have to make a decision by comparing what did we get in this remainder variable. So to make a decision, we use the if-else conditional statement. So I'll say if remainder equal to 1. Now this double equal to is used to check for equality, and single equal to over here is used for assignment. So there is a difference between these two operators. So this is basically comparing 1 to what we have in the remainder variable. So what this condition is saying, that if remainder is equal to 1, that means if we are getting the remainder as 1, it would mean that we are getting an odd number, right? So in if block, what I'm going to say is system.out.println odd number, because we got a remainder of 1. And else, what I'm going to say is system.out.println even number, because if I don't get 1 as the remainder, the only other possibility is going to be 0, right? Because the number will be either even or odd, and if it is odd, we're going to get a remainder of 1, and if it is even, the remainder is always going to be 0. So let's test this, and let me just save this and let's try to run this. So there you go, you can see we got odd number. The reason why we got odd number is because our variable x is 5. Now I've hard coded this value because the way we take input in Java is slightly not very straightforward actually. So we'll deal with taking input from user in further video tutorials, so that I can better explain to you how to take input from users, and for that you need a little bit of understanding of classes and objects. Anyways, let me just check with an even number. I'll say x equals to 6. Now we should get even number. So running this. So there you go, you got even number in the output, which means our program is working perfectly fine. Now let's actually try to take input from user in a simple way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an object of scanner class, SCANNER. You can see this. I'll explain to you in a minute what I'm doing. I'll say SCR is equal to new scanner, and inside the function I'm going to pass system.in. Then I'm going to say enter a number. Let me just type this out. I'll explain to you what I have done. And then I'm going to say int x is equal to scr.nextInt. Okay, so instead of hard coding the value in the program, what I'm doing is I'm going to take input from the user via this console. So in order to do that, we do not have a very straightforward method of taking input from the console like we did in C++. So if you're coming from a C++ background, the taking of input method in Java is slightly different. So what I did is I created an object of scanner class, and I know classes and objects are not yet covered in this entire playlist as of now, but we'll soon take a look into it. But of course, if you're coming from a C++ background, I hope you already know what object-oriented programming is and what objects and classes are. So here scanner is a class and we are creating an object, and we are passing system.in when we are creating that object. So to create an object, we have to say new. So this is a keyword, and when we say new, the object is created in the memory. And then again the class with the opening and closing brackets, and inside that I've passed an argument of system.in. So system.in is a standard mechanism of the input stream which is connected to the console, so we can directly take input. So that's how we are creating this object. As of now, you just need to understand this much and not get into a lot of detail. Then I say int x is equal to scanner.nextInt. So scanner variable or scanner object has an inbuilt function of taking input of an integer variable by saying nextInt. So if this was a double variable, we could have had next double, or if this would have been a byte, we could have said next byte. But since it is an integer variable, we have to say nextInt, and that's how we can take input from console. Let me just save this and show you. If I run this, you can see enter a number is prompted, and you can see there is our blinking cursor over here. So if I enter 5, x value will be 5. If I enter, then odd number. Similarly, if I run this again and enter an even number, if I say 6 or let's say 8, if I hit enter, it will print even number. So the only difference is we took the input from user, and this makes it a little more intuitive rather than hard coding the code. But since we haven't seen how to take input from user in any of the previous video tutorials, this was something new for you. So don't get into a lot of details as of now. Just consider this a mechanism to take input from user, and we'll discuss in detail how to take input from user in Java in future videos. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you understood this program. This was a very simple program wherein we just had to make a decision using the if-else conditional statements. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe, because there are a lot of programs coming soon and coming up next after this video tutorial in this playlist. So you'll get notified whenever I upload new video tutorials in this playlist and in general on this channel. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.